Hello and welcome to my channel. So today I thought I would do, it's kind of a craft with me, showing my process. I'm doing a couple of projects that I've recently watched on YouTube. So I imagine this is gonna probably be about a 30-minute video. I am gonna edit it down. But essentially what I'm gonna do is show you a pen pal package that I am going to be sending to a pen pal. And for this I tend to include quite a bit of vintage ephemera. I have quite a lot of pen pals who like that sort of stuff as well as me. So really I'm going to be making all the ephemera I'm sending. Everything here that I'm sending is made using digital downloads, scans of stuff that I have, etc. So I just wanted to take you through the process. So we're going to decorate an envelope as well, just to show you the process for that. So this is one that's already done. So I've had to tape something over the address label there. I do a couple of things for my pen pals. It's a kind of swap kind of thing. So the things I'm going to do, I'm going to make one of these today with you. This is a variation on Nick the Booksmith's scrap sampler that she had made using, she'd used an old file folder. Unfortunately don't have those, so I used some scrap card, but I did use the digital labeling and everything. This is one of them I've made already. You can see it's got just scraps of bits of paper, vintage book pages, all that kind of thing. So I'm going to show you how I make those. Then also I'm not going to show you this because Nick has a fantastic tutorial. I would not do it justice, but mine is a slight variation on what she's created. I think it's called the Specimen Folio. And this is, I think again, she used an old file folder. I've used one sheet of scrapbook card to make mine. So this is just a little shorter in width than 12 inches. And then essentially one of the bits you cut out, I use as the additional flap at the bottom. So all of this is one piece, and then this flap here is attached to the bottom. In here, again, all of the stuff in here, ephemera stuff, is kind of handmade from digital downloads that I've actually either purchased or created myself. So just quickly, it's got 3 pockets and some slit pockets. Decorated this inside flap here. Here's some nice lovely ephemera from Nick the Booksmith. She's got these beautiful tickets which I've inked the edges and then tuck into that little pocket there. And then we have some little tags as well, which I've added some sari silk ribbon onto. She has these beautiful tea cards. There's a whole sheet of them, and this is just 3 of them here. And what I've done is I stick these onto the back of a small index card. Just trying to find it, yeah. So I buy these little index cards. This one has squares on it. I then tea dye them, and this one actually has a lovely mottled effect. And then that's what I stick these onto. So I print those onto card and then stick them onto back of these. So you just about see the grid. So you can use these in journaling, etc. Inside here, lovely Nick, has given away this lovely zine, and it's for a recipe for homemade baking mix used for scones and biscuits. So I thought that was lovely. So I've printed and created a few of those for my pen pals, and we'll just stick a few of those tea cards in there. And here we've got another lovely set of tea cards from Nick. These have got cats on them. She's also included the back, so you print out and then just stick them back to back. So I did that. Love those. I think this happens to be another Nick tag, which is stuck onto craft card. And then this was a decorated tag that I did, again using some of the Nick's printouts, with Graphics Fairy and Nick, actually that is. And then again, that's stuck into there. Then up here, we've got some Graphic Fairy. These are ATC cards, so artist trading cards, but these are blank ones so that my pen pal can maybe decorate them herself. And then I have, this is I think a Tim Holtz card, just cut out. And these are two of my own collection photographs from my family. One of these are my granddad, and this is also my granddad here. But these aren't the genuine photos. These are scans which I've printed out. This is onto it's a lovely card that I use. I will include the name of the card down below, but I've been trying to find a really nice card. This is lovely for printing vintage photos on, because it really feels and looks like the real thing. Obviously I've inked the edges a little bit, I've distressed the back, but that really looks quite genuine. I've even cut some of the corners just to make it look really authentic. And that's another one which I've stuck onto one of those index cards. Again, I've cut the corners to make it a little bit more vintagey looking and ink the edges. So that is a collection of kind of homemade ephemera that I've included in this little pocket folio type thing. So that just has a little closure there. Again, all these are handmade and in the tutorial of Nick's. What I'm also including in this package is, again, this is a complete collection again of handmade ephemera. None of this is genuine ephemera. By the way, in the scrap sampler, there are genuine pieces of vintage book pages, and there are some genuine vintage stuff in there. A decorated clip. This is a scanned 10 shilling note. I do have this original 10 shilling note, which I've scanned. Again, I've aged it. I've added it on a card. This piece of beautiful eco printing is again Nick's, one of her downloads you can get on Etsy. So I've included a sheet of that. I just print it back to back. And these are just collections of ephemera that I've made as well. So these are scanned adverts from a magazine, which I have, and I've scanned it and I've printed it onto tea-dyed paper. These, and I'm going to show the originals of this in a minute, but these are some beautiful scraps of paper with handwritten recipes on them, which I got at a flea market in Paris. And I, again, scanned, printed onto tea-dyed paper, and I've even folded the paper along the original fold marks that the original piece had. So just to, again, for that bit of authenticity. This was, again, I'll include the links below. This was from a collection as a digital download that I bought on Etsy. This is one of my originals. I've even cut out the jaggedy edges to give them a kind of that general thing. You can always crunch it and, you know, make it look old, and that's folded. So that's again a scan out of the book that I recently got in Paris. This is another piece of the same thing, just folded. These are from another collection that I bought from someone else. I think these are American receipts. That's a little accounting invoice, and I think this is a old banknote or check, something like that. And then these are amazing. These are beautiful, beautiful illustrated plates, book plates that Nick has created into journal cards, which are lovely. I print them onto card, I stick them onto an index card, and then I ink the edges. So those are go into the collection. I'm just going to quickly, I'm going to show you how I do some of that. But that all goes in here, and then I just kind of package it, if you like that. And then I've also included in this package some postcards, and this is a little mail tag with some kind of fun questions. But in here, I've got these little paper bags from Paris. I've tea-dyed them, so they're gold, and then in here are some little postcards for my pen pal in there. So they go into that little bag with the little mail tag on there, just as some interest. Ooh. That's that. And then of course she has the letter. Now the letter, I found these lovely envelopes again on my recent trip to Paris, and beautiful handmade paper envelopes. So I thought it was such a shame that if I wrote on it or stuck it down, she wouldn't, it's a bit of a waste. So I thought she could reuse this envelope. So I printed her name onto some tracing paper and clipped it onto the front. And I've also just sealed it with a little piece of washi tape that she can just pull off without spoiling the envelope, and she can reuse that. So that's that. Okay, so what we will start with, I think, I'll just show you how to make some of that ephemera to start with. As I said, I've got some ephemera pieces on my Etsy store, which I've scanned in. Some of them are collected pieces that I've purchased from flea markets and stuff. This is part of an envelope. These are tea cards and stuff like that, and these are all put on a sheet that you can buy, print, and use as many times as you like. This is one from my Parisian ephemera collection, and then I've also got some French recipe sheets as well. Here we go, French recipes. These are all sheets out of an original recipe notebook, which I'm going to show you in a second, the original. And those are all again in my Etsy store. And these are some of the photographs I was talking that I had shown you just now, that I print onto this lovely card cutout, and then just you know, ink the edges just to make them look a little bit older. So, for example, this one I am going to make. I'm just going to cut this one out. And then I'm going to stick this. You can either ink the back to age it, or you can stick it on the back of one of these index cards. As I said, I've tea dyed, so I'm going to do that with this one. If you're doing this, I would definitely recommend using a Beacon 3-in-1 or the Fabrifix, because then you just don't get any wrinkling or warpage, bending, that kind of thing. So it's great glue for that. So what I do is I kind of just stick that to one of the corners. Cut. And then cut off the excess around the edge. Like that. Then I will get some, just I think this is walnut stone. Just go around the edges. I mean, this is really just to stain the white edges as well, because obviously, you know, you're trying to create something vintage. So if you're going to have white edges, kind of spoils it a little bit. So, but I do like to see the sort of browning of the edges anyway. So that's that. So that's that little bit, which I will add to my little, maybe my little specimen folio for my pen pal. Also great to do is the same thing. This is another one of, this is my great grandmother. And again, I've printed off the card. Again, you can just keep it as it is, and you can stain the back maybe, or I like to stick them to these tea dyed index cards. This one looks really nice on the back, so I'm going to stick it on here. So again, I will just stick. Okay, and I just stick it into the corner there. That's what I'm waiting for that one to dry. I'm going to do another one of these. These are the cards that I showed you before. She's got a load of different sets of these, beautiful, bought them all. All the money I make on selling my journals, I just spend on Nick stuff. So this is one that I've already done. So again, I just get the T card, I print it onto not a thick card, but you know, a thinnish card. Glue. Go. And then it's up to you if you want to obviously stain the edges. I stain everything. I do like the fact. I think it really does. You know, I think it really does add to it. And it kind of I don't know, it kind of just adds to the dimension of it. I think I like the kind of more dimension it adds to it, as well as the kind of aging effect. Especially on photo. Again, I do like to do this anyway, just to, even if you're really just inking the actual cut edge, because that's obviously new and white, and then and this is why I like using these index cards, because they've got these ruled lines on them, and so much easier for writing little notes or recipes or whatever you want to use these for. As I said, most of these that I make go into my journals. So we've got a couple of extra ones here, which I'll use for another pen pal, and I think I might maybe add that photo to the little portfolio thing as well. So here's just a couple of things that that's how I make some of my ephemera for my journals and pen pals and what have you. So that's those. So I think what we will do now is make one of the some of the samplers. So this is the one as I said, I showed you before. I've made a few others. I'll just quickly show you those before I start making. So these are some others that I've made. This one, as you can see, has a little bit of sari silk. So here I used a punch. Unfortunately, I don't have the big crocodile punch, so I had to use with my hand tool, which it took quite a while to do. Hence, I've only done one of these. But these, I thought that really looked nice with the little sari silk tie on it. These, obviously, I haven't got tie, but I'm going to show you two different. I'm going to show you how I do this one and the string one as well. So those are those. Okay, so this video was going to get really long if I kept the whole thing going. So I'm going to split it into two. So that was part one, and you will see the link to part two below. Thank you for watching.